President Trump signed an executive order that made it illegal to burn the American flag. So back in 1989, there was a decision that was already determined called Texas versus Johnson. It was a 5-4 decision, so it wasn't a unanimous decision from the Supreme Court. Usually they decide First Amendment issues unanimously. But what they determined was, one of the questions was, is burning considered speech? Like, is this protected under the First Amendment, or is it conduct? And ultimately, the U.S. Supreme Court determined that it was speech and that this type of speech is protected under the First Amendment. And at that time, there were a bunch of laws throughout the United States and federal law saying that it was illegal to burn the American flag. So it essentially made those laws unconstitutional. There's a person in Texas that was fined for burning an American flag, and that's how this all came about. So what happens here? So we have this Supreme Court decision, so it is unconstitutional at this point. It is a narrow 5-4 decision, so I don't know if that's why they decided to pass it, to try and challenge this Supreme Court decision. But also, the side that cited that this protected the First Amendment wasn't actually liberal judges, which I assume would have been liberal judges. It's more the conservative judges. And actually, Antonin Scalia, one famous conservative justice, agreed that this violated the First Amendment, and most liberal judges decided that no, that this didn't violate the First Amendment. And it seems like the minority decision was more like, this is so sacred to us, the American flag. Like, this is something different, and it's something that shouldn't be considered free speech. And that was at least according to Justice Rehnquist's decision. So he was more on it was more kind of a philosophical nationalist stance. So that's where we are. In my opinion, I don't think that the First Amendment should go back to that route with exceptions on, hey, this is America, this is philosophical. I think that people should be able to say whatever they want, and if not, then it gets to censoring free speech, which is, in my mind, exactly why we have the First Amendment. People burn flags for whatever reason. There's a lot of reasons behind it. A lot of people see it as aggression towards the United States, and maybe that could be the case. And so I think that's why some people thought that, hey, you know what, this is like treason, this is like anarchy, this is like trying to upheave the nation and the Constitution itself. But it's hard to see through words why people are doing it. A lot of people may like the United States, and that they just don't like how things are being legislated at this point, or issues that they have with the United States. So that's kind of where we are. In my opinion, I think that this executive order currently it isn't legal at all. It's not. It would be struck down. It would be up to the U.S. Supreme Court to take it on again. I don't think they would, especially with how new this case is under our legal framework. This is relatively very new law, this 1980 law under Supreme Court timelines. So I think the executive order is unconstitutional. I don't think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to take it up.